Statistics show that 1 out of every 6 Texans struggles with food insecurity and hunger. And many people don't eat enough fruits and vegetables every day. The Better Living for Texans program is here to help you learn how to make healthy menu choices, save money at the grocery store, prepare quick and delicious meals, get more good nutrition in your day, and get more physical activity. Classes are fun, friendly, interactive, and free, and taught in English and Spanish. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KCCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. I'm Cindy Cochran. Makes sense, right? Okay, so anyway, I got to tell you what I miss every time we start the show, and I'll forget because I'm so excited about our guests that we have on. But I want to thank the Wootton Financial Group because they're the ones that are sponsoring us. And sponsors are very important, and you must give them their due. And so, but I got to tell you, this is going to be very exciting for everybody. Chris Wootton will be on the show next Wednesday, and he's going to come on and talk about all this banking stuff. And I know your mattresses are looking better and better for you, but I think that he'll talk you down off the roof, and it'll be fine. So everything's going to be fine, and in Texas anyway, because we're strong. And so, but I've looked around, and a lot of the banks have got, some of them have a lot of cars, some of them have lines, and it's just, reminds me of The Wonderful Life when they had the run on the banks. And I thought that would never happen ever again. But, it's a surprise every day with this administration. So we just keep waiting to see what's going to happen next. And the news stations are loving it because they have so much more to talk about. But today we're going to be talking about the Crighton Theatre. If you live anywhere near, this area, and then out to Montgomery, to New Waverly, to, you've passed by or you've heard about the Crighton Theatre. And what's the coolest thing about the Crighton Theatre is that when you step in, they close the door, and you have gone back in time to the most beautiful theater you've ever seen. And it's just a hidden treasure of Conroe. And we have the new executive director right here in our own presence. It's Melody Dixon Montez. I got to get those three out. Melody Dixon Montez. Melody Dixon Montez. She's here with us, and she's going to, we're going to talk about the theater. And we're missing one of the people I talked about was going to be here is Dennis O'Connor. But I know he's watching right now. And but he went out there, he said, I hadn't driven in so long, and so I go out and I try and turn the car and it started. And I thought, okay, but then it died. Like 3 times it died. And so now it's just going, It reminds me of why women are so intimidated by going in and talking to any kind of mechanic because they got to go, my car started going, and do you know what's wrong with it? And it always made me feel so bad. So Dennis tells me his car started going, and so I thought, okay, yeah, I totally understand that. I totally understand what's going on. But anyway, we'll probably mention him once in a while during this conversation because he has had so much to do with the Crighton Theatre and in sets and he's won awards. He's just done everything. And plus, he played the fiance and the boyfriend of our guest right here. So we got to get, your side of the story. I see your eyes are going like, wait a minute, when did that happen?
Yeah,
what was
a long time ago.
Okay, thank you so much. And now we are going to talk to Miss Melody. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm glad to be here.
Miss Melody sounds like you could have been one of the, back in the days when they had the bars and you swing open the doors and
saloon
there's Miss
girl.
Melody and come on in, boys. But you have been around this theater for a long time.
Long time, right around 94.
1994.
I did my first show with Grace Thompson, and I just, well, the moment I walked in to the Crighton, I just thought, this is where I belong. I don't know why it took me so long to find it, and I wasn't that old. I was in my early 20s. But back then the Players were there, and I did many shows with them, worked my way up to directing, followed Jim Bingham around the theater because I wanted to know everything about it, helped him fix things and things like that. Spent a lot of time up there. This was pre-children and pre-husband, so I was single and had time, and did every show I could, and ended up serving on their board for a while and directing. And then when this new group, Stage Right, I say new, this will be coming up their 15th season.
Wow.
They moved into the Crighton as the resident group. Got a phone call from Amy Sowers, and she said, Melody, we're starting a new group in the Crighton, because she knows that's where my heart is, that theater. And we need you for our first show. And I said, hey, I've got 2 little kids. I can't do a show. She goes, I've already got somebody to watch them backstage. And I'm like, okay.
Now that's
And so I did
amazing.
the very first show with Stage Right there in 2008, Christmas Bells. And so I've been with Stage Right ever since, been on their board, directed for them and starred in shows. And now I had to step down from the board, and I'm an advisory non-voting member because I'm now the executive director of the Crighton. So
okay, that'd be a conflict of
it would
interest.
be a conflict of interest.
Yes, but that's amazing.
But I still direct and act with them because that's what I love to do too. So.
Oh, sure, sure. But to make that rise from from just coming in and playing a little bit part, and then you. It probably wasn't a bit part. Was it?
Actually, it was a bit part.
It
was a little. I was the Irish maid in a ghost story. So
okay.
yeah. Grace Thompson cast me in that first show. So yeah.
Well, here's the thing about the Crighton Theatre. I mean, people they drive into a small town. Mm-hmm. They drive past so many different quaint, cute, wonderful downtown area that looks so precious, and you go like, oh, this is a little town, and look at it looks like a movie set. This is incredible. And then you walk into the Crighton Theatre, go, let's go to the theater and let's see what they're doing. It's so cute. And you do this production that could have been anywhere near Broadway. It would have worked because it was so professional and beautifully done.
That's what I want people to know that haven't been there, is that how amazing these shows are. The quality, the talent that we have in the area. I've been to a lot of community theaters all over the country, and nothing comes close to this. Nothing. It's just amazing. And the fact that we hold 530 people,
right?
That's unheard of in community theaters. So it's really quite remarkable.
And you pack them up to the walls. And
a lot of times we do, yes.
And your balcony, it's so funny. Like, I'm in the balcony, and it's, you don't know if there's, something like some show's going to come on, like a vaudeville show, because it looks like it's setting almost for something like that.
Well, that's what it was
like
built for. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then here comes this, Broadway looking production, and it's just amazing. Yeah. I want to know, how do you get the scripts, the shows, the permission, and all that? How does that happen?
Well, with Stage Right, I can only speak on their behalf because I don't know how other groups work, but it's probably very similar. We have like an artistic director she's the one who gets online and procures the rights to shows. And a lot of it depends. There's a lot of rules with procuring rights. Depends on if someone in the area is doing it at the same time. If it's on Broadway or touring, a Broadway touring company, you usually cannot get the rights. Sometimes you can. There's a lot of things, but you have to present how big your theater is, average number that attend, how many seats it holds, but how many it attends, what your ticket prices are, and then what else, the factors, and the dates that you want to perform the shows. and then all of that gets factored into whether you can get the rights and then how much the rights are going to be. So it's a lot of.
So you have no idea, like, until you submit all that, then they come back and tell you how much it's going to
That's
cost
why we
you.
can't just announce a season until we
Right.
secure everything with the publishing companies.
So
Yeah.
you have to have that probably done well in advance before you start.
Yes, we're hoping we can announce the new stage right season in the next week or two
Oh, good.
for next season. Yeah,
Good. Well, you have to come back.
absolutely.
Maybe we'll have Dennis. Maybe he'll get his car started by then.
Yeah, maybe so.
But
Check your gas tank, Dennis. Does it have gas in it? I'm just
so
messing
I
with
told him,
you.
I said, now go back out there and just wait a while and go back there and try it again, and don't flood it. And he goes, Cindy, shut up. And I'm like, no, I know how to do this, but if you could tell me that if Stage Right is like. They procure the script and all that for you.
Right.
No, who votes on what's
There's a
gonna
play
be?
selection committee, and
Okay.
and then they toss around ideas and directors and talk to. So there's a lot that goes on before.
Who's
we
on that
start-
committee? How are they
There's
chosen?
5 people. I am on that committee actually, and 4 others. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and we get suggestions from our regular stable of directors what they would like to do and if they can available next season and all that stuff. So a lot goes into.
Well, I bet you
picking
have
shows.
a lot of regulars that come to the theater that do suggestions for y'all, right?
Oh yeah, I get that. I get an earful, especially the first few months I took over. I got a lot of, you should do. You know what you should do. You know what you should do. And it's like, yeah, I understand. And that's,
That could be the title of your book.
you know what you should do. And a lot of times it's like, okay, yeah, but we can't do that because of this or whatever.
Right.
So that got old pretty quick. Yeah.
But you see, they probably do suggest, these epics because they've seen what y'all do, what you can do. I mean,
Yeah.
it has always been shocking for people that first time they go there, and as they walk out, they went, I can't believe this happened in this little town, what we
Yeah,
just
it's
saw,
amazing.
that we would have had to go to New York to see.
But on the other side of that, those big musicals are wonderful. Don't get me wrong; they're great. But the smaller shows that we do, the plays are just as amazing.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And you really get into, like, I'm directing the next one. It's about the acting and communication and the comedy and it's way different from the big musicals.
Can you
But
tell
it's
us what the
just as
name of
good.
it is yet?
Yes, I'm actually. It opens next month on the 7th. It's Much Ado About Nothing. It's Shakespeare's
yes.
comedy. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so,
great.
Yeah, and I've got an absolutely insane cast. They are wonderful, and they're so funny. And every night they are finding more and more comedy, more and more, and that's what I love about directing, especially plays. I don't direct musicals. It's insane. Hats off to you if you can do it. We're thankful to you. But I would prefer the quiet, the chewing on the words, the, finding the motivation, finding
Right.
that connection with your fellow actor, and then relaying that to an audience and bringing an audience in.
Well, that's going to be a great play because I think that. Now, do you get to? What kind of wiggle room do you have to do any kind of change or?
Now, that's what I love about Shakespeare. Also, I directed several Shakespeares back in the '90s with when the players were there, but also edited a few for other directors. So this is the first time Shakespeare's been done in the Crighton for a while, over 15 years.
Very good.
At first, Stage Right didn't want to do, but we've had some changeover with artistic directors, and they came to me last season and they said, do you want to do a Shakespeare? I said, yes, absolutely. I said, what do you want me to do? Whatever you want. And I'm like, yay. So I wanted to reintroduce Shakespeare at the Crighton with a comedy because, don't get me wrong, I love his brooding historical shows and I love his brooding dramas, but a comedy, lighthearted, something fun and silly and fun to watch is what I wanted to be the first.
And something people have seen, heard about, and
They've heard of-
they've
yeah,
heard it so
yeah.
much, so that's good because they walk in there nothing.
And then I love to edit Shakespeare also, and I've done several, And this one, though, I'm a huge fan of the Kenneth Branagh movie from the 90s.
Right.
And so I went off of some of his editing that he had already done because I had taken on this new role at the Crighton. I'm busy 24 hours a day.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't sit for hours and hours and edit the Shakespeare. So I went off of him, but I didn't change some of the things he changed. I edited some of the things he didn't. I mean, I tweaked it my own way, the way I wanted it done, but he was a big help. Plus, this is sort of an homage to the movie, because I think if you love that movie and you like it, then you're going to love the show. But if you've never seen it, you're still going to love it because it's just so well done. Yeah.
I love that. And I think that introducing Shakespeare in that way is the best way to do it, because they think, well, I never understood Shakespeare when we were in high school and we were trying to.
And that's something I love to do too, is make it, present it in a way that you understand it. Whether you don't have to get every word, and go easy on yourself, because you don't get every word on a normal show sometimes. So missing a line here and there is not going to upset the plot or your enjoyment of it. And it is English. It's not some foreign language. And it's really, I think, if you can think Yoda spoke in a Shakespearean way. All it is flopping
the subject
sentence
matter,
around. It means the same thing. It's just said differently. That's all. So,
I would hope that there'd be, like you may have to have some little cards made up to say, so when you hear him say this, it means this. But I thought that's what I think is great of having the movie, have gone to the movie. Mm-hmm. And it would probably make everyone go and rent the movie and try and rent the movie to.
Yeah, I think it's on HBO Max. If you have HBO Max, give it a watch.
But I mean, after they see it.
After they see it,
the
you can
stage
compare.
play.
Yeah.
That's really good.
But no, you don't
for them.
need to study anything. Trust me, the
Come
way
as you
it
are.
you will love it. Absolutely.
Now, is there a dress code?
Well, that's something else. I always joked that I was going to start a YouTube channel to teach people theater etiquette.
Interesting.
So, dress code, no, we don't have a dress code. But to me, when you go to the theater, live theater, mm-hmm. you should put on not your best, but you should dress up and put on some shoes, not flip-flops. Pants, not shorts, that kind of stuff.
Right.
That's just me, because to me it's a whole experience. It's like
right.
you put in this effort to look nice and come to the theater and see a show. I understand if you're going to see a band at a bar, that's different, but to me, theater, not that you have to be dripping in diamonds and have a formal gown on,
right.
but just something nice.
Yeah, because there's not going to be the red carpet or the photographers out front snapping pictures of you.
No.
But it's funny, because it's like we used to say, wear your Sunday best.
Yeah, I didn't
and
want to use
gone
that
away,
term
though.
because you don't have to go that crazy. But,
But the way people dress now, they wear the flip-flops or they wear the, the shorts and stuff. And you go like, I hope God's not embarrassed.
No, I'm not saying if you don't have any good clothes and all you have is that, you're still welcome. Absolutely.
Yes,
no
course.
judgment. We're
right.
ragtag theater people. We're not going to judge you. But if you can dress up a little bit, it's nice.
Well, you'll feel better for it. I mean,
and then other things
right.
like cell phones were not a thing for many years. So that is a problem. People, I understand that some people get drugged to the theater against their will and they're sitting there playing on their phones. That's very sad to me. Also, filming is not welcomed, because these shows we have
that's right.
bought the rights to these shows,
right.
and filming rights are not part of that. So that's actually a violation of the rights. So, we try to discourage that. But I will stand back there during shows and see, the phones, and not to mention it's so rude to the people around you.
Right.
They paid money, just like at the movies. It irritates me too. You paid money to come see this, not to see your cell phone light or or this or whatever.
Well, can you videotape? Say videotape. Can you tape it and sell those to people?
No,
you're not
we don't do
allowed.
that.
That's not part of it.
There are some where you can videotape it for archival purposes for your own group, but not selling and making a profit. No,
Okay, that's a shame because everybody, especially when you have children in a production.
Yeah.
I always told when I would interpret at church, I would tell the preacher, I said, anything you can come up with where we can have kids on the stage, you'll build your audience like 10 times. And he goes, no. Well, that's too, I don't like children on the stage because they're not. I said, I'm telling
It's
you,
a lot of work.
if you want people in the seats, I'm telling you, you got to do. And every time they have the kids, it was perfect because it was like full. And so the stage is the same way. If they have kids, you bring out
a lot of
every
times
aunts
they
and
do at
uncles
least
and
one
cousins.
musical or try to do one musical a year that has a lot of kids in it.
Yes,
Because that does bring in, a lot of people. But it is a lot of work to have a lot of kids running around.
Oh,
And there are
incredible.
some stage managers and assistant directors who say, never again will I'm not doing that. So as a director, you're like, great.
And it's not that the kids are precocious; it's because they just, like it's. Like
And that's another thing I'd like to teach. Well, and I used to teach with Amy Sowers for Bravo Company, which is the children's educational classes through Stage Right. And that's something I would teach the kids. Like, of course, I had the teenagers, so they kind of knew better. But it's just,
Yeah.
and my own sons that are in theater, since they were young, you need to act professional backstage. You need to be quiet. You need to,
Right.
Don't touch it if it's not yours. That's number one rule. Don't touch it if it's not yours. If it's not yours, don't touch it.
That's
And that was my big rule. And if you see a mess, go pick it up. Grab a broom. Take the trash out. This is your house when you're here, So
That's
treat it as
great.
such.
I mean, that would be wonderful. It's a boot camp type thing, is to let the kids find out all those things they should be doing.
Absolutely.
Anyway, and the etiquette part of theater is, and you said you spell it with the TRE at the end
Yes.
instead of the theater. It's
To me, a theater, theater is a movie theater.
Right.
TRE is a live theater.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah.
See, that's good to know because I kept trying to spell it. I know this doesn't look right, but if you had a wish for like the perfect play to put on,
Ooh, I've been
what
asked
would
this
that
question
be?
before. I've got my personal favorites. I would love to see, of course, some of this stuff, the rights are not available yet. Like Phantom of the Opera would be something that would be absolutely gorgeous on the Crighton stage. Now, it is leaving
Wow.
Broadway, so eventually the rights will be available for that. So someday I hope to see that on the
Oh,
stage.
the sets would be
Yeah,
amazing.
We'd have to have a big crew for that.
Like whenever you go and watch you watch a movie, even I guess, and you think, I wonder if that could be done on stage with this many acts.
Yeah.
Do you kind of think about that as you watch?
Oh
them?
yeah. My son and I talk about this kind of stuff all the time. When I saw Rocket Man,
Yes.
I thought, oh my gosh, that would be the perfect stage play. You could totally do this on stage. And I'm sure there's probably something happening, about that I don't know about. My son would probably know if he's listening
Well,
right
it's
now.
like any kind of
I would
hero
love
stuff
to do
or Marvel stuff.
because they call them album musicals, I think, and it started with Mamma Mia, kind of, where they took music from a certain group and made it
Right.
into a story and used the songs. And then you had, I think, the Billy Joel one, Moving Out. I think there was the Queen one, We Will Rock You, and then Rock of Ages, which just used sort of a variety of 80s music. I think it would be neat to, I forgot where I was going with this, but, I know where I was going. I would love to do a Kiss one with Kiss music. I think that would be fun to
Melody,
write
you
that.
have
I need to
do
call
you-
Gene Simmons and get on that.
Call him.
Have his people call my people.
He'll say, if I can be in it, that's okay.
How much fun would that be with
Oh,
little pyrotechnics and the
Oh.
costumes and the kabuki,
Oh,
Japanese
man.
theater makeup?
And the
It'd be a lot of
auditions
fun.
for the tongue. It
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be.
Be a lot of fun.
Okay, stick your tongue out. Let's see
Yeah.
if you can make this. But I think that it's going to be you're even talking about like doing how the 80s brought in MTV and the music videos and all that. That's kind of what you're talking about, is like getting a song that you could build a whole play with.
Yeah,
Now that would be fun.
Yeah, or a catalog of songs.
Yes,
from
yeah.
a certain artist,
Right,
which they've
from certain
done
artists.
before with several of them. But
Right.
I just always thought it'd be fun to do one with Kiss.
Oh, Kiss would be. I mean, you imagine all the 80s kids would come streaming in.
Gen X.
We had Christine, the song Christine.
Yes.
My dad told me I better break that record because my daughter is named Christy, and he said, and it's terrible. It's bad. Do not. You just go in there and break that record. So I went in there and said, "Listen, Christy, you should have told me about this." And I broke the record, and she was like, "What? It was just my name. I don't know
just a
what.
name."
I don't even know what they're talking about."
Yeah,
So
we didn't know what they were talking about when we were kids.
most of the time, yeah, exactly.
And honestly, looking back now, it really wasn't that bad.
Oh, especially now, it's like, oh, there's nothing.
Everybody was all upset about it. I'm like, oh, they were good. This is mild. And actually, some of it's kind of inspirational.
That's what I think it's interesting, is the play on the words. And back in the 50s, when they had like on Blueberry Hill and things like that, my dad was reading everything into the music, and my sister, that she would play, and he would say, "I think that's all dirty. I think it's all dirty that they're talking about."
Well, some of those songs
and it
were.
was right. He was right. He was actually right. But
Shake, Rattle, and Roll is just terrible. Read the
Jerry-
lyrics.
Jerry Lee Lewis had.
Oh.
I mean, yeah.
He was the original bad boy there.
Oh,
Yeah.
my husband was in this band, and they played backup for different artists that came through. Jerry Lee Lewis was one of them, and so they're out there playing, and he walks out, and apparently he liked to drink, and so he walks out to the seating and takes it and pushes it back like that, and all of a sudden he starts like. My husband said, we didn't know what he was going to do. He's lurching, and all of a sudden he throws up in his hands. He throws up on the stage in his hands, and then looks at it and goes, and goes right through his hair. And he was so drunk. So anyway, you never know. But
You never know.
there's so many good stories in rock and roll. The people the bands and stuff, and now they travel, and their whole, a traveling band on the bus and stuff is just like a whole different reality show.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I'm surprised.
And my
they haven't
husband and
done.
both of my sons are in a band together with a female lead, and they play around the area.
Oh, they
don't
do?
have to travel a lot,
Yeah.
But it's a whole different world from theater to music, But I respect both the processes. But
Right.
So it's interesting and fun.
What's the name of their band?
They're called Vinyl Arcade.
Vital Arcade.
Yeah, and
That's
they have a
great.
female lead, and my son Ian, my oldest, he's on lead guitar, and he also does vocals. They switch off every 3 or 4 songs, and he's big 50s fan, so he does a lot of 50s songs.
Oh,
and
man.
Stray Cats and things like that. And then my younger son, he's 17, he plays drums for them, and then my husband Al is on lead guitar. So they are actually Friday from 3 to 7 are playing at Moe's Irish Pub in Cyprus
Yes.
for
oh, yeah.
St. Patrick's Day. So that'll be fun to go see them. So
that's
check them out on
great.
Facebook. And then I think they're coming back to 202 Main on July 1st. I just heard this morning from my husband. So
Okay. Well, then let me tell you, they're welcome to come and do some unplugged stuff.
Okay.
And that would be. I mean, we've had people in here and comes in and they unplug and play, and it's fine. It sounds fine. The drummers has a problem.
Well, I brought both of my sons on. Whose show was it?
Margie?
Rick Sellers' show. When
Oh,
y'all
Rick
were
Sell-
over next to
yes,
Crighton.
yeah.
They were younger, early teens, but he had his acoustic, and my younger son, the drummer, brought his cajon box, and he
Okay,
kept rhythm on that.
that's perfect. Yeah.
So they had fun doing that.
Well, please tell them they come on
Oh,
and
absolutely.
let me know when Wednesday or Thursday coming up to July 1st.
July 1st. Yes.
July 1st. Yeah.
They'll be at 202. So that'll be local Conroe. Yeah.
That'll be so fun.
Yeah, it will,
okay.
yeah.
You're a good stage mother.
I try. Well, I try not to be a stage mother. I let them do what they need to do, but I encourage them. It's really, I'm having a lot of fun right now in my life because taking over it was a lot of work, and it still is, but taking over for Bingham, the honor of that and being able to run the Crighton is just absolutely amazing. And then having all three of my men, my two sons and my husband in a band together, and then both of my sons have been in the last few productions at the Crighton. So I'm just in heaven, just having a ball, enjoying
and having so
all of
many
this.
things to keep in family.
Because they're old enough now where they're doing adult shows and adult roles, and so.
So when y'all have dinner together,
Oh, no, we never have dinner
I was
together.
going to say, did that ever happen?
No, we just run around and just try to keep food in the kitchen, and
Well, I'm
'cause
sure
my youngest
Debbie-
is about to graduate, so
Debbie
it's
Glenn
just
at Red Brick Cavern would have something up, have a booth for y'all.
Yeah.
Just hold a booth for you anytime y'all want to get together.
the house is just a crash pad.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
community. But I love it. We love it. We're having a great time.
That
And I see them
is-
up at the theater. I see them at their gigs, and we
There's
just-
so much for y'all to talk
much-
about.
So much art and music, and it's just great. Yeah.
And now, is it difficult though to have your children in your productions and not, get after them, or not get after them? They're too old to get after
To direct them. Well, actually, my first time I directed my kids was several years ago, probably about 9 years ago. I directed The Christmas Story, the Ralphie and Randy and
Really?
at the Crighton, and my oldest Ian. When they asked me to direct it, I thought about it, and I thought, okay. I emailed her back and I said I would be happy to do this under the condition that I can precast Ralphie with Ian. And she emailed me right back and she said, well, that was sort of what we were hoping. So they really wanted they really wanted him. And I was just like, well, let's just get Melody to do it. I'm like, that's fine. So I did publish it that role was precast, so nobody,
Yeah.
And I brought him to the audition so he could read with people so they knew.
Oh, that's perfect.
They understood he's
was
really good.
locked in,
And
yeah.
it wasn't, so I try very hard not to do the whole nepotism thing. They have to earn the role. And so, like, recently, Ian he played Lancelot in Spamalot at Christmas and had a good time doing that. Robin just got off playing Usnavi in The Heights. He was the lead. And I had nothing, and I had nothing to do with that. That's,
So they're going out and auditioning
yeah,
on their own.
has nothing to do with me.
Do they have an agent, or are you there?
Ian is actually signed with Spark Agency with Sarah Preisler, and then
Right.
Robin is going to sign with them as soon as he graduates when he has free time. I just got to get him graduated. And then but now this show, Much Ado About Nothing, my oldest son is playing a role, and I cast him, one, because he's really good, and also it worked out that nobody else that age came to audition, so it was really him or nobody. So I lucked out with the whole, looked fine, but he really is good and deserves the role. So
That's awesome.
It's been fun directing him as
Are
an adult.
y'all in rehearsals right now?
We are.
You are?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, that's
Yep.
going to be
Sunday after Elvis, Donnie Edwards leaves the building. Sunday, we'll start building my set. So.
Now, when they say, like, I know Elvis isn't here anymore, but they say, like, Billy Joel, a music experience.
Right.
Okay, so it's just someone who sounds like Billy
Yes.
Joel?
So
I mean,
what I've been doing lately in the last year, and it's not just me, because I thought, I don't want to just book all these tribute artists, but they're really good.
Yes.
And people like it.
Sure.
And
It's the
I didn't
closest they
understand
get.
that.
Yeah.
And I researched other venues in the area, and it's a trend that's been going on. They're booking a lot of tribute artists at Do-Si-Do and Warehouse Live and the Main Street Crossing in Tomball and all this stuff. So it's not like I'm doing anything weird or unusual.
Yeah.
This is a trend right now. So I work with 3 or 4 promoters that that have tribute artists, and I have them send me their press kits, and there's some that I'm like, oh, but others are like, no, yeah, I can see that. So I've actually totally booked the Crighton for this year and next year.
You have?
Yes, I have. Yes. So.
Man, you're just like, okay, I can sit back and relax now for
Well,
that part of it.
The work begins.
Yeah, now the work comes into
begins.
it.
So we have our resident company, Stage Right, and then we have a couple of other theater groups that don't compete with Stage Right. I have the Christian Youth Theater, CYT. They use our building to do shows 3 times a year, and it's very short. They do a 2-week run. They're not in there for very long, but it's youth theater. And then we have our summer camp, our Jim Bingham Memorial Summer Camp every summer. And
So the summer camp are for wannabes.
yeah, for kids, yeah.
Okay,
It's a kids'
kids
summer
wannabes,
camp.
yeah, okay.
And then we have Missoula still that comes every year, and that's a 1-week sort of acting intensive for children. They come in on a Monday, cast the show, rehearse it, and then do a show on Saturday, and then they're off to the next town. So the kids around here love that. So
That's awesome.
and so we've got Elvis, or Donnie Edwards. He's an Elvis tribute artist. He's coming this Saturday. We have maybe 15 tickets left in the balcony.
I was going to say, how many tickets do you
not
have
many.
left?
And then coming up in June, I've got a Johnny Cash and Roy Orbison tribute act. And then the week after that in June, I have a very good Fleetwood Mac tribute act called Nightbird. And
How long will they be there? How
just the
long
one night.
Just one night,
Uh-huh.
okay.
So if you go to the Crighton Theatre website, you can see what's coming up and purchase tickets. And then-
CrightonTheatre.org.
yes.
And
www.crightontheatre with the RE.org.
Okay. And spell Crichton so they know.
CRIGHTON. Yeah.
I think Richard, I probably sent that to you, CHRI. Every time I send, I go like, because I was trying to make sure it's Crichton was right. Is it right?
You're right.
CRI. Yeah.
Okay, CRI. Because
Ellen,
because my spelling correct kept coming up saying this is
No,
not
it
right.
always tells you
Yeah.
it's not spelled right.
So
So then
anyway.
next year I've got a Dean Martin tribute. I've
Oh,
got, Yeah, he
great.
does a whole variety show, this one guy. I have a Sinatra guy back. I'm going to have the Billy Joel guy back because just on sound check, he was so fun. I was like, let's book a date next year. I didn't even see the whole show, just the sound check. I was like blown away. I'm like, this is fun.
awesome.
And the people loved it. It was great. So what do I have? So coming up, I have Johnny Cash and Orbison, and the Fleetwood Mac, and then next year, well, Elvis is this weekend, and then next year I've got Dean Martin. I'll have Sinatra. I'll have a Billy Joel again. He'll come back, and then Donnie Edwards' Elvis will come back again, and I think that might be it.
Well, I'm so glad to
Oh
find
no,
out.
the Beatlemania, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, I was wondering.
I'm
'cause
having them back again. Too,
I
yeah.
saw
Beatlemania 64 is what they're
at
called.
Jones Hall, they had a Beatles, and I'm so critical of anybody that does, but,
Yeah,
but it was really good. It was
good.
great, and you have to close your eyes. Okay.
And these guys are a
Close
lot
your-
of fun. They specialize in just the early days. They don't do.
That's
yeah,
great.
Yeah, so
That's
it
smart.
was
That's very,
interesting.
very smart because it's like Ricky Nelson would say, I'd go out and I'd have a new song, but nobody wants to hear the new song. They just want to hear the old
old
stuff.
stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what they come for. But I think that if you're going to have Elvis back, so the 15 tickets that are left for this, how would somebody call right now? How would they call or they have to go online?
They can do either. And I feel terrible because I don't have the box office number memorized, but I can get that for you. But I got.
Richard is perfect. He is.
He's gonna look that
You
up.
can find anything.
I'm so used to giving out my phone number that I don't.
You don't want to do that.
But if you go on, let's talk about the website first because
Yeah.
this is actually something I want to talk about. It's terrible. There are third-party websites that can sell tickets to our shows, and they triple and quadruple the price on you. And there is nothing I can do about it. It is legal. And so I just want, and we send out an email blast and put it on our, try to get the word out as much as possible through Stage Right and our own stuff, that if you're going to buy tickets online, go to the Crighton Theatre website period. There's a big picture of the Crighton on the front, and you click on shows, and it takes you to our ticketing. Because if you look up Crighton Theatre on, like Google Crighton Theatre, there's a few other sites that will pop up first.
Oh.
And so people are paying over $100 a ticket to things that they don't need to pay that much for, $50,
That is horrible.
It is horrible. So if in doubt, then just call the box office or come by the box office and buy them that way. You can buy them over the phone.
When
Tony
does the box
and
office
Kathy
open?
So the box office is Tuesday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m.
Okay.
And you could also leave a message, and they will call you back if they're not
They
there.
will. Okay. Okay. And now I believe Richard now has a number to tell you because he's got the microphone.
Well, in the description of the video, I put the website, Crighton Theatre. People
Oh.
can click on it.
Okay. Okay.
But I did find a website that's trying to sell me a
It's
$404 ticket
See?
You.
Yeah. To what?
to Much Ado About Nothing.
Oh, my gosh. No.
April 7th, 404. That's crazy.
That's crazy because the tickets are really like $27.
Yeah. the
And I don't want you to pay $400. I want you to come have fun.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
it be affordable.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be scammed
the
by
cheapest ticket is $89 on
somebody.
this
See,
website.
that's crazy. And there's nothing I can do about it. I've made calls. I've researched it. It's totally legal. It's online scalping, and I just don't. I just
Well,
wish
wouldn't that mean that they're buying the ticket right now on your website and then they hold
so
on to it?
whoever, if you go and you were to buy on that website you're looking at, the fake website, well, not fake, but the other website, they go in turn, they take your money, and then they go in turn and buy that ticket
So
on
they
my
don't buy it
website.
up front.
No.
They just wait till I buy it. Okay, because I was
Right.
about to say, like, does that mean every? I would think they buy them all right now, and then no one comes to the theater, but you sold all the tickets.
Right. No, that doesn't happen. So I'm not sure legally how they have I guess there's a way they tap into our ticketing program, so they know in real time which tickets are available, and we don't know. So like when somebody comes and has bought one of these third-party tickets, and they lost it or they need it printed out, we can't do that because we don't know what name those people. They're making up a name to buy the ticket with. So we don't know how to even look it up and reprint it for them. Sometimes,
Go to the box office, become a season ticket holder.
Yes, become a season ticket holder. That's
Or
There you
Crighton, the
go.
link is right there for you guys to check out Crighton Theatre and Stage
or
Right.
buy them straight from the Crighton Theatre website only, nothing else. Just make sure.
Oh, that's a crime.
It's a crime.
That's
It's terrible.
terrible.
It is terrible.
Oh, man.
So, and I think what's the number to the box?
I'll get it right
He's-
here.
he's got it.
Right there.
That's what I thought you were
I know
gonna
it's
do.
936-441 something. I need to memorize that number.
If you remember that.
936-441-7469.
7469. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. And season tickets. So now, how do you buy season tickets? Because because I know it's not flat fee, that each production is probably different costs.
No, it's a flat fee for the whole season.
Oh, okay.
The
No matter
tickets are
what.
the
Okay.
tickets prices are the same for each show of the stage right season.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. That's. I mean, that's really the way to do it for sure. I think
then if you miss the first show or the second show and you still want, we'll prorate the price for the rest of the season. So you can buy the season tickets at any point. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, what about, do you normally, is this something that you normally do, is to bring back, like you're bringing Elvis back, you're bringing Billy Joel back. So if you miss that one, then maybe
Yeah, I mean,
you have a
that's
second chance at them?
That's one good reason to bring them back. Yeah,
because it was popular.
and it was a success. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now, is that something, that's what you're in charge of. You have to decide if they're going to come back or not. You make that decision.
Right.
So,
Unless they didn't have a good time and they don't want to come back. But so far that hasn't happened. So I do my best to be a good host.
or if their writers were just too strict.
Yeah. Or
do
just if
still-
they don't have availability on those dates. Because I only had a handful of dates every year, weekend dates, because Stage Right is in there most of the time, and then I have a couple of other, events that go on continuously. Young Texas Artists was just last weekend. They come every year for that weekend. So, so there's only like 4 or 5 dates that I can work with. So
Play with it. Yeah. Well, if riders are interesting to me, and I just wanted to know: do they still do riders?
Some of them. Mm-hmm.
They still do.
I always
What's
ask,
the craziest one?
These are not. These are not real like celebrities, so they're not crazy. They're okay. I do warn them if they've never been that we are not a new theater with high tech equipment. That we're old school, and there's history, and there's dust, and there's holes in the wall, and it's fun, and it's old, and it's really neat. And so I explain, and I love it, but some people may not, but I think it's awesome and cool. So they know that what they're getting into when they get there, and they always love it every time because it's just this history.
It's really the only theater I can think of that's not in Houston.
Yeah.
If you think about going to the theater
Like an
and
old-
watching
an
a
old-fashioned
just
theater.
watching a show,
Yeah.
because most of the shows that y'all present are very unique to the area. So it's not like I can go see the traveling show at a better theater in the Woodlands.
Right. Right.
So
No, the Woodlands doesn't have any.
I don't think they even have a
We just
theater. They might have like
they
a
don't.
hall.
Because back in the day, I was with a couple of different groups looking to start a theater in the Woodlands, and they don't let you because I think they're keeping that, and I'm not sure. I can't, don't quote me on this, but my theory is that they're wanting to do something themselves through the city or through the township, and they just haven't yet. So they're keeping that right to open their own performing arts theater, and there's been talk of it off and on for years. But
I thought they were going to do one up here, Performing Arts
They're
Center.
They're talking about that. Yeah.
I don't know why they would need to.
I don't want to comment on that either.
Well, there's plenty of black boxes in the Woodlands. They have the schools.
Well, yeah.
So
yeah. The McCullough and Woodlands High School and so they rent out their facilities to little groups, so you can do things in the Woodlands.
Yeah.
You just don't have a home there. Now there was. There are small groups that will rent, little retail space or whatever to do stuff, but it's very small. It's still relevant and fun.
Right.
But it's not like the Crighton. Yeah.
Nothing is like the Crighton.
Nothing.
It is incomparable, and I think the one of a kind is always a fun thing to be a part of, because you're not trying to compare yourself to anybody else. This is what we do, and they do it right, and they do it Texas style because it's big. You don't think the show's going to be that big walking into a theater that's crammed up against other stores and down the
No, it's
way.
very misleading from the front.
Right.
And you walk in, and I've got,
the ceilings go on forever.
Yeah, and the fly system is, 3 stories high, and
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it's really
And so
amazing.
it really is an experience. And if you live in this area, you should try it out if you've never been. If you just moved in, we've had so many people move in.
know.
In fact, I'm in Willis, and there is a Chamber Creek addition going in right down.
More housing,
Down,
yeah.
yes.
Wow.
I mean, and these are 50 plus.
Not to mention Conroe, downtown Conroe has changed immensely in the last 10 years. And just in the last few years even. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, the only thing downtown at night was the Crighton and the Owen,
Right.
And parking was fine. Everything was, that's all the lights that were on were those two places and maybe a restaurant. But now there's several restaurants, several bars, several
restaurants.
shops. The parking is a problem, and it will continue to be until it gets figured out. But honestly, I don't think the parking is that big of a problem unless you can't walk very far.
Right.
And then at that point, make arrangements to drop someone off at the front and then go park. But if we can retrain the Conroe community to, in their heads, realize that walking 3 blocks is not that far.
3 blocks. It's not really three
So
blocks.
if you need to go park here at City
Yeah.
Hall or over
Right.
by the courthouse, it's just a couple of blocks walk.
Exactly.
And it's usually a nice night,
Yeah. And it's more than 2 hours parking.
Yeah, I mean, I've
because
walked
after
19 blocks to
6
Grand
o'clock.
Central Station before, in New York. It's not that far.
Right.
And it's just give yourself a little extra time.
There you go.
To get there.
Give yourself a New York experience, walking,
Come to
and then come to the show, and the show will give you the final of the better than New York experience.
Yeah.
And so, but thank you so much for coming.
Yes,
thank you for
absolutely.
being here. This has just been so
It
much
was fun,
fun.
yeah.
And so we just got to keep in contact. And I want to have your sons come do Unplugged, or,
Oh, yeah,
and your
absolutely.
husband and whoever wants to come, and we'll do that. But be sure and look up the CrightonTheatre.org and go through and see all the things they've done and what they are doing and what's going to happen.
And come see Much Ado About Nothing, April 7th through the 23rd or 24th, I think.
April 7th, okay. And if you'll just
3 weekends.
if you'll just remind me, just text me. Remember April 7th, so that I can say it before the day.
Okay.
We'll keep reminding people and
Great.
and keep up with you. So we're so proud of Crichton. So
Too.
thank you. I think it's a Conroe treasure.
Absolutely.
Listen, Wootton Financial Group, thank you for sponsoring this, and so we can have a show like this and talk to great people that we have in the Conroe area. And Melody, I'm so proud of how you have come up and what you are doing. It's just
Thank you.
It's
I'm
amazing.
having a ball, and I love the Crichton.
So happy,
it's in my
for your
heart.
energy. Thank you. Okay, all right. So I got to wrap. All right. Tomorrow we have the Bugman. The Bugman's going to be here. It's my exterminator. He's telling you what kind of creatures to be looking for spring. They're coming out. They're coming at you, and he wants to try and stop them for you. So we'll have Chris Paskett on tomorrow, and so you can't miss that for sure. All right, first responders, we love you. We love you so much. We admire you. We think you're just wonderful. So what's great is that God loves you even more. Thank you.
Every week, people ask the same 2 questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these 2 questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, 1-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their